Yeah, I mean, what an incredible array of talks this morning, and Andrea and Chiara, amazing stuff. So yeah, really pleased to be here. For people who know me, I wear a few hats, and I'll speak about a few of them today. I'm CEO of Collider Health, and working with the National Innovation Center for Aging. You see a few logos there. And at the end of my talk, I'll talk about a new role that I've just taken on. And my main focus and passion really in everything that I do is around taking our broken healthcare model towards a more preventative health model. So I'm all about system change, and that's really my passion. And really ensuring, just like Andrea said, it's about ensuring that all the benefits of science and technology of longevity actually reaches everyone equitably. So I'm here to talk about how 20 years on from the Human Genome Project, and I studied genetics a very long time ago, so I was very excited about that. It actually showed us that genetics is actually a relatively small proportion of the determinants of our health. And obviously all the stuff that we're hearing about from us today is a testament to that. And so I have set out the need for the Human Exposome Project to really understand what drives human health span resilience, which has been a theme today, and flourishing is kind of like a new way of thinking about the next frontier of longevity. So last week, I was in LA. I was pitching the Human Exposome Project as a future moonshot for the X Prize. We obviously have healthspan X Prize. This is the follow-on to that. And it didn't make it to the final. The XX Prize on ovarian aging did, which is great news. I'm very pleased about that too. And we're pleased to say that there's actually been a lot of interest in Human Exposome Project, certainly for the people that I've spoken to, and also with Jamie Justice saying that there are other routes in, sponsors interested. So really pleased about that. Oh, sorry, yeah. Big green one, yeah. And I'll try and speak into the microphone a bit better. So the crazy thing is we have the science and technology actually to run the Human Exposome Project. We need empirical evidence that shows the external exposures in our life, which spans social, socioeconomic, behavioral, psychological factors, and their interaction with internal factors, genetics, epigenetics, physiology, et cetera, which is encapsulated by the term exposome. And it has a profound effect on health trajectories and overall resilience as we age. And it's manifest obviously as chronic diseases, geriatric syndromes, frailty, et cetera, which we've been hearing about. So about 2 years or so ago, I launched the Quantum Healthy Innovation Mission with my colleagues at the National Innovation Center for Aging. And since then, I've been working with leaders and pioneers all around the world, the international scientific community, really to understand and see this idea of the exposome as a scientific framework for understanding, really what drives human health span resilience and flourishing. It's written up in the Lancet a couple of years ago. And since then, of course, there are a number of about 20 authors on that piece. And we've just submitted a piece to the top science journal in the world about why we need the Human Exposome Project, which we hope will be published in January. So together we are agreed, I think all of us here, that we do need to explore this next frontier of geroscience. We're hearing amazing stuff today about that, to really sort of look at taking the biology of aging and what we know and out of the lab into the humans as complex systems as we know that they are, because we are deeply affected by the exposome in terms of the aging process, but also in terms of our life course trajectories. So why is the exposome so important to understand and build into this knowledge base? Extending our knowledge of biomarkers, which we've heard about today, into the exposome provides an opportunity to define the factors responsible for biological aging, which can be monitored longitudinally in real life and categorized as internal versus external exposures, as you can see on that slide. We also know that about 80% of our health outcomes are driven by external exposures. On our individual experiences of our life throughout our lifetime. This is the exposome. And based on available evidence, largely from large-scale population studies, the exposome factors that have the most significant impact on human health, roughly in order of priority, are what you see in that slide. And it's quite shocking, that the air quality is a huge significant factor, much more than I certainly realized until I started looking into it. We know that diet and nutrition is, physical activity and lifestyle, of course, psychosocial stress, which we've been hearing a lot about today, chemical exposures and toxins. These are all real factors. Looking at air quality alone, the World Bank estimates that the global cost of air pollution is, and this is both ambient and household, is approximately $8.1 trillion annually. due to healthcare expenses, obviously lost productivity at work, which is an area that I'm really interested in, leading obviously to significant healthcare costs and millions of sick days. In fact, this is an area that, wearing my hat in the UK, I'm running a business for health, working with the UK government, which are actually seriously looking at all these factors and trying to understand why is it that our chronically ill population is literally dragging the economy down. As we've seen with Jason's talk yesterday, epigenetics connects the environment to our health. As we heard yesterday, chronic pain drives hair aging, chronic stress drives hair loss, adverse events in childhood experiences accelerates aging. This is all exposome. Yet, despite the colossal impacts of the exposome, it remains largely unmeasured and unactionable at a personal level. We need to understand the external factors encompassed in the exposome in terms of helping humans not only to survive, but to thrive and have a resilience to adapt to life stresses as they encounter them throughout their lifetime. We know that some people, and Lynn Cox spoke to this, are more resilient than others when confronted with stress in their environment. And resilience is getting is a concept that's getting more and more attention, especially as we try and understand human health span and the human condition. And how do humans adapt to these adverse conditions and recover from them? And looking at all the personal qualities that we have, such as, sense of personal control, autonomy, a sense of purpose, feelings of optimism and hope about the future. These are all really important in terms of human thriving. We also heard just today, metabolic health, and oh no, it was yesterday, metabolic health, inflammation, toxins, these are were the most accurate blood biomarkers to wellness assessment and biological age. Participation in a wellness program, a lifestyle program, improves biological age. We heard that this morning. David Furman affirmed how immune aging is affected by the exposome and importance of functional aging, citing the intrinsic capacity clock, capturing biomarkers of decline. Loved Chiara's talk on the Lifestyle Atlas, really interesting, and loved obviously all the work that Andrea is doing. And for the X Prize, what we pitched is this need to develop a personal, portable, interoperable human exposome wallet for the army of people to donate their data, open science, open collaboration, just like Chiara has said, and like we've heard a lot of times today and yesterday, to donate their data into the Human Exposome Project and benefit from the next generation products and services that will transform lives around the world. So what are these real-world exposomic sandboxes going to look like? And this is part of my work, that really to take sort of what we are seeing in laboratories to be tested in the real world with humans of various ethnicities and living conditions, different socioeconomic environments. So we know that healthy longevity clinics, and obviously Andrea is doing incredible work both in the private and public setting, and indeed longevity cities. So as I mentioned, working with the National Innovation Center of Aging on their City of Longevity program, they provide the ecosystems to see decentralized trials to assess the effects of the exposome on human aging biology, and can characterize reliable exposure markers and help us to develop the right interventions. So cities provide the perfect exposonic test beds to track people's daily behavior, as well as internal and external exposures. And there are many, many examples around the world, Barcelona, New York City, London, they're all doing incredible stuff. We heard Viviana speak yesterday, and I would like to speak her again about their plans for the Institute and the Alliance for Aging Biomarkers, planning human longitudinal studies, including exposome measurements. So I'm going to hopefully speak to Viviana later. So my last slide, and I know, or last couple of slides, I know I'm running out of time, is I have just taken on a role as executive director of the International Institute of Longevity, and look forward to working with Joanna Bench and Eric Verdun on our plans, really to sort of look at how clinics can help test technologies to sense and measure key biomarkers internally that signify long-term external exposures to the most dangerous exposome factors. So clinics, they can act as real-world test beds to understand the human exposome. So this is the work that we want to do ahead. And of course, with my colleagues who are already involved in this, this is really about building on the excellent work. Andrea has talked about the standard that is being now implemented in Abu Dhabi. And we need more of that work taking place around the world. So part of our plan is to actually engage with leading edge clinics around the world and really start to look at this and look at this world decentralized trials. So I probably have run out of time, have I?
You have 20 seconds.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to learn more, there's a lot of work that we're planning to do, think tank conferences, members joining, but there's a big program of work which we will be talking about in more detail at the Buck Institute event next month on longevity clinics. So thank you so much.
Right on the bell. So that was great. And